I walked into the Conjuring. Last rites carried by nostalgia. The Warrens' story has always been one part horror franchise, one part emotional lodestar. Directed by Michael Chaves, this ninth and possibly final chapter drops us into a new haunting that's supposed to close the book on Ed and Lorraine Warren's saga. At its best, it delivers that jolt you expect from the universe. But at its worst, it feels like the grand finale everyone knew was coming, but nobody really planned well. The plot intercuts between a 1964 setup and a tense 1986 case around the Smurl family haunting, where every creepy reflection and attic whisper is tied to a demonic mirror. Meanwhile, the Warrens, now with their grown daughter Judy, Mia Tomlinson, jump back into one last fight against darkness. It's classic Conjuring, but with a dash of legacy pass-off. Turns out Judy and her boyfriend Tony are being primed to take the torch for any future spin-offs. What works is the world building. The mirror twist in the post-credits leaves you wanting more. It recasts the entire story as revolving around this evil artifact, casting Annabelle as a mere ghost in its shadow. That was clever, and I loved how it gave the saga a kind of mythic coherence. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are still magnetic as Ed and Lorraine. They carry every scene with gravity, the weight of retirement, the quiet fear in their eyes, that heavy pause before action. Their farewell carries emotional weight, something the film leans into big time. Fan reactions on Twitter called it an emotional send-off and perfect swan song, and on that front, it delivers. The horror, though, depends on what you came for. There are knocks on walls, demonic haunting, the mirror-breathing dread, all done slickly. But the scares feel safe. Predictable jump scares, reflective stare-downs with shadows, repeated visual motifs. They work, but they work like old friends now. The tension rarely pins you to your seat the way the originals did. Critics called it dad rock horror, stuck in old formulas. The pacing is an odd mix. While some found the 135-minute runtime manageable, I felt a twinge of drag as the second half leaned into explanation over elevation. The Smurl family's story starts strong but loses momentum when the Warrens take center stage. Some eerie potential is sidelined, and the horror feels diluted by exposition. Fans and critics split. There's genuine appreciation for the legacy, emotion, and finality, scary love letter to fans, poignant and bone-chilling farewell. But others scold the script, calling it uninspired or even the franchise's weakest link. One tweet didn't pull punches. The scariest demon was the writing. Brutal. Technically, the flick nails the aesthetic. Wall-dress 1980s trappings sit well beside grainy handheld shots. The score buries itself in your bones at the right moments. The production simply looks and feels cinematic. And if you're there for finality, seeing Judy step into psychic focus is a compelling pivot, though whether she can maintain the torch is still turning in the wind. So, The Conjuring. Last Rites is elegant in farewell, eerie in framing, and faithful in form. It glues the Warrens' lore solidly, giving fans something real to hold on to. But it's not the horror innovation some hoped for. It's more curated closing chapter than full-throttle shock ride. If you're here to say goodbye to Ed and Lorraine, you'll come away satisfied. If you were hoping for fresh terror or a seismic reboot, the mirror haunts, but the heart is on pause. Verdict. A respectful, sometimes chilly, often sentimental farewell that ends on a whispered haunting. A final ritual worth experiencing, for legacy fans more than horror thrill seekers.
Hope you like the video. See you with another interesting video. Bye then, signing off from Black and Blank.